The man who was shot and killed by a Fairfield police officer during a violent domestic assault has been identified as Christopher Andrews. Officers responded to the house in Fairfield around 6 Tuesday morning and were confronted by Andrews. He was shot and later died of his injuries. His wife and 3 children, ages 12, 13, and 15, were all injured, police said. The children were taken to area hospitals suffering blunt trauma injuries and stab wounds. The youngest was airlifted to Yale New Haven Hospital. The wife was also taken to the hospital for injuries. The officer who shot Andrews, according to police, was also sent to the hospital for evaluation. Christopher Andrews was an attorney in Manhattan and known in the Fairfield community for his involvement in youth sports as a coach. Those who knew him through athletics expressed shock at the incident, and many are still waiting for answers. Police said there were no records of any problems at the home previously. State court records show no conviction or pending charges against Christopher Andrews, on whom the state's office of the chief medical examiner will conduct an autopsy. Fairfield police officials say they will conduct their own internal probe of the officer's role in the shooting. Police arrested a 16-year-old Joe Barlow High School student on Thursday, February 4th, after he allegedly attacked a fellow student in the hallways. Police said they were in the school investigating another crime when they were alerted to the assault. Both students involved were treated for minor injuries at the scene, and the arrested student was charged with third-degree assault and disorderly conduct. He was released on a promise to appear in court. New Canaan fire officials have been responding to over a dozen reports of burst water pipes in New Canaan homes in the past few days, and they suspect that other residents who are away on vacation may come home to water damage. Residents who are away may want to have their homes checked, they said. New Canaan Fire Chief John Hennessy told the Advertiser that they had 2 broken pipes on Sunday, 8 on Monday, and 5 or so on Tuesday. A couple of properties have significant water damage, he said. Many people are away on vacation for the winter holiday, and they anticipate some will come home to find flooding in their homes. Fire Assistant Chief Russell Kimes was at a Crystal Street residence Tuesday morning after a call of water damage there. Kimes said that he and his crew did what they often do in cases like that. They turned the water main off and electricity in the house, and they will even remove wall and ceiling fixtures in order to allow water to escape from behind the sheetrocks. Kimes said this particular homeowner was fortunate because the home is under renovation so that some furniture and furnishings were not present and therefore not damaged by the water. One New Canaan contractor said it's not unusual for pipes to burst, even after temperatures rise, especially if water has not been run through the pipes for a period of time. 2 Newtown High School students were charged Saturday with sharing nude pictures and videos of their classmates, bringing the total of arrests in the school's sexting investigation to 5. According to Hearst, Connecticut media, the probe began last May when school administrators learned that several boys... Sorry, a little technical glitch there. Just one second. According to Hearst, Connecticut, the probe began last May when school administrators learned that several boys and girls were sexting or sharing nude photos and videos of themselves and their classmates through smartphone applications like Snapchat, FaceTime, iMessage, and Kik. After a lengthy investigation, police last month charged 3 students with selling such content and referred 20 others to a juvenile review board for reportedly sharing those images with friends. This week, police announced they arrested 2 other teens involved in the sexting ring. One of them was charged with 3 misdemeanor counts of possession of child pornography by a minor, and the other was charged with 1 count of the same crime. Both students and their parents were given the option of participating in the juvenile review board, but they refused the offer. But we're going to switch gears now and throw it over to Rob Adams for a look at today's forecast. Rob?
All right, Kate, good morning, everyone. We've got a partly sunny day with a cooler day, highs around 40, but that, rather seasonal for this time of year considering. But then again, we had 55 earlier in the week, and before that we had, 100 below. No, I'm kidding, 7 below, or so it goes. Anyway, northwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour today, so not too bad. Tonight, mostly clear. We'll hit the low 20s tonight with the wind out of the northwest from 5. On to Thursday, a sunny day, highs in the low 30s with the wind out of the northwest from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear, low around 16, wind not a problem to speak of. To Friday, sunny in the morning, mostly cloudy, slight chance of snow in the afternoon. highs in the mid-30s. Wind around 5 out of the east, becoming south in the afternoon, but the chance of snow is only 20% for the area. Friday night, mostly cloudy and a chance of snow. Sleet and rain in the evening, then a chance of rain and snow after midnight. Not as cool. Lows in the lower 30s. Chance of precipitation 40%. Saturday, partly sunny. Highs in the upper 40s. Saturday night, not a big deal. 34 for your low. To Sunday, 46 is your high. And as we get back to the work week, 44 and sunny on Monday. Darien has 37. Ridgefield has 33, and right here in Shelton, it is 37 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Dang takes a look back on this day in history. We throw it back to Rob for Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have a lot more news coming up after this.
Had a sports injury that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist quickly. Their highly trained orthopedic professionals expertly treat you without an appointment. Skiing, snowboard, or sports accident, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk. Call 203-845-2070 or coastalorthoexpress.com. Find them on Facebook at Coastal Ortho CT.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional, personal shoppers at Walter Stewarts are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewarts online at stewartsmarket.com.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure every Thursday at 2 on the HAN Network.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Dang, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday, right here on the HAN Network.
And we're back on this Wednesday edition of your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. Getting back to a few more headlines this morning. The Easton Police Department received reports of 17 unlocked vehicles being entered and property removed on Monday night through Tuesday morning. Items taken included cash, electronics, wallets, ammunition, and more, according to Captain Richard Doyle. The thefts occurred on Wilson Road, Amante Drive, Sunset Road, Rock House Road, among others. According to Doyle, residents are encouraged to remove valuables from their vehicles and lock their doors. And in a similar incident in Reading, 2 unlocked cars parked in the same spot on Blackwright Turnpike driveway were broken into Monday night. The incident adds to a recent increase of burglaries and larcenies which have occurred since November of last year in Reading. The only property missing from either of the cars was the GPS unit, police said. And as he began reiterating, the chief said since burglaries began increasing in Reading, Police Chief Douglas Fuchs urged residents to make sure they lock their cars, their homes, and set their alarms. In Trumbull, First Selectman Tim Herbst is cutting 4 full-time town positions in his budget proposal for the 2016-17 year. The Parks and Recreation Department is facing the bulk of the changes, according to Herbst, who said the cuts are coming as a direct result of recommendations contained in the external audit recently completed by the Matrix Group. Mary Markham, the town's recreation director, and Charlie Busser, the assistant park superintendent, are among those taking the retirement package. Joining Markham and Busser in the early retirement ranks will be senior park ranger Robert Hawley. Herb said that the position will be retained, but a junior level park ranger position will be cut. Herb said the employees will be taking an early retirement incentive program, which was recently adopted by the Trumbull Town Council. The fourth position being cut, in addition to the park ranger, the assistant park superintendent, and recreation director, is actually a reduction of 2 full-time town hall administrative assistants who will take on part-time roles in the coming year. But you can get much more on that story at TrumbullTimes.com. We're going to switch gears and throw it over to Donald Eng, who's going to take a look back on this day in history. Check it out.
A new incarnation of an ancient nation gets a part-time president. But first we go to 1600. Philosopher Giordano Bruno, burned alive for heresy in Rome. He had proposed that the stars were just distant suns surrounded by their own planets, and raised the possibility that these planets could actually foster life of their own. He also insisted that the universe is in fact infinite, and therefore could have no celestial body at its center. 1801, an electoral tie between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr is resolved when Jefferson is elected president and Burr vice president by the U.S. House of Representatives. Incumbent John Adams was the first victim of the constitutional 3/5 compromise, where slaves were counted as 3/5 of a person for electoral purposes, but did not get 3/5 of a vote. Had slaves not been counted in electoral tabulations, or had they been allowed to vote, Adams almost certainly would have defeated Jefferson. 1863, citizens of Geneva found an international committee for relief to the wounded, which later becomes known as the International Committee of the Red Cross. The Red Cross, actually, the Red Cross symbol is an inverse of the Swiss cross. Finally now, we go to 1949 for a new president's inauguration.
Chaim Weizmann, overwhelmingly elected first president of Israel, comes to Jerusalem for his inauguration. As he enters the holy city, accompanied by his wife, he cuts a symbolic cake. For the 74-year-old statesman, this is the climax of a life devoted first as a scientist to all humanity, and second, as a Zionist, to the creation of a free and independent Israel. Before the Israel Constituent Assembly, he takes the oath of office. Even now, Dr. Weizmann will continue his twin careers, for with the presidency of Israel more an honorary post than an executive one, he expects to spend most of his time in scientific research for the benefit of all mankind.
That is British-born Chaim Weizmann, who was inaugurated as the first president of the nation of Israel. Of the founding fathers of Israel, David Ben-Gurion is certainly better known, but it was Weizmann who convinced the United States to recognize the fledgling republic. He is remembered as the greatest Jewish emissary to the Gentile world. That is your look back in history, and I am Donald Eng.
Thanks so much to Don. It's now time to throw it back over to Rob Adams with a Nutmeg Sports Update. Rob?
All right, Kate, thank you very much. We start in boys basketball from last night. Vashon Natal scored 20 points, grabbed 11 rebounds as West Hill beat Norwalk 55-46. The Vikings improved to 8-5 in the FCAC and 11-6 overall. Also, it was St. Joseph over Ward 92-81, so a high-scoring game there. Trinity Catholic beat Darien by 9, 53-44. Central got close to that first win of the year, but they lost to Kennedy by 5. A couple of other boys basketball notes for you. Foreign knocked off East Haven 65-62 in SCC boys basketball. Jordan Townsend scored 19 for the Lions. Cheshire over Shelton 65-48. And in the game of the night, Rich Kelly had 21 as Fairfield Prep beat Xavier 70-65 in double overtime. The Jesuits are 17-1 on the year. On to girls basketball now, and Norwalk took care of West Hill 65-37. Darien over Trinity Catholic 55-28. Shania Osborne had 14 points to lead the Mustangs. Ward over St. Joseph 57-32. A couple of other notes. Bunnell High fell to Colby Cathedral 48-22 in the SWC. Morgan D'Amato scored 8 points with a pair of three-pointers for the Bulldogs. Caitlin McCormick had 6 rebounds and blocked 10 shots. Not scored 10, not rebounded 10. No, blocked 10. That's a heck of a night right there for Caitlin McCormick. Genesis Torres scored 15 as Stratford lost to Newtown 64-47. From swimming, Foreign lost to Sheen, 92-78. On to the schedule now, and we've got a busy night in basketball, starting with Stamford at Trumbull in the FCAC. It's Greenwich home for McMahon, Ludlow at Danbury, Ridgefield at Trinity Catholic, Central is home for Darien, New Canaan at Wilton, Staples at Ward, and St. Joseph travels to Norwalk. Girls basketball, Greenwich and McMahon get underway at 5:30, as does Central and Darien. Trumbull at Stamford, Ludlow home for Danbury, Trinity Catholic at Ridgefield, Wilton at New Canaan, Ward and Staples, Norwalk at St. Joseph. From boys ice hockey, Ridgefield takes on the West Hill Stamford Co-op at Terry Connors at 4. We have ice hockey later today at 4 as Greenwich plays Darien at the Darien Ice Rink. Our coverage begins at 3:55 with the pregame show. We'll have that one. And again, first place really in the FCAC on the line, so the top seed on the line there. Massacre Trinity Catholic at Terry Connors later on. Trumbull and St. Joseph at the rinks at Shelton. Staples West and Shelton are at Norwalk McMahon at the So-No Ice House, and Fairfield and Wilton at the Winter Garden at 8:30 tonight. Girls ice hockey, New Canaan and Simsbury at the ISC at 2:40, and Amity and Ridgefield play at the Winter Garden later on, so doubleheader action up in Ridgefield. Boys swimming and diving, you've got the Fairfield Co-op at Darien, Trumbull at New Canaan, Ridgefield home for West Hill Stamford, and Wilton at Staples. Couple of other notes from New York. John Jay High School is traveling to Rockland County for 2 playoff games. The boys play top-seeded Tappan Zee tonight at 7 in the Section 1 Class A playoffs. And on the girls' side, the Indians play at Class A first-rounder as they take on Albertus Magnus tonight at 6 in Bardonia. Albertus Magnus, the defending section champ, they are seeded 4th. And finally, and this note just kind of makes me smile, final in-person registration for the Trumbull Little League spring season will be held tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. and Saturday from 9 to 11 in the morning at the Trumbull Library. The thought of baseball means spring. It means pitchers and catchers are tomorrow. A happy note to wrap up with sports. I'm Rob Adams. Hockey later today. Kate, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, we have Talking Transportation with Jim Cameron, who's going to be sharing some of his secrets of Metro North, including how to find the best seat, where to stand on the platform, and how to save on tickets and more. So that's coming up. We're also going to recap some of our top stories today on your coffee break after this.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthegame.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
Here at the Organic Yard, we use bionutritional products in our lawn care programs, which reduces the need for fertilizers, nitrates, phosphates, and pesticides up to 80%, making a safer environment for your family and pets. With our organic lawn treatment, you'll receive vigorous, healthy plants with improved root development and better drought resistance. Enroll now in our 2016 Organic Yard program and get a free organic deer tick treatment. Call us today at 914-764-5491 or go to our website at millerslandscapinginc.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fishermen Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
You are watching the HAN network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
What are the secrets of being a successful commuter on Metro North? I'm Jim Cameron for Talking Transportation, commentary and analysis on getting around in Connecticut. Every week, dozens of people ride Metro North for the first time. So this time, let's talk about some tips and techniques for old and new commuters on how to be a successful rider. First of all, there's parking. You can't take the train if you can't get to the station. So my suggestion is invest in your commuting future by putting your name on your town and neighboring towns' wait lists for annual parking permits. In 4, 5, or 6 years, when your name finally rises to the top, you'll thank yourself. Meantime, opt for legal day parking, find a friend to ride to the station with, or try biking. There are free bike racks at most stations. Platform positioning. Now, there is a science to deciding where on the train platform to wait for your train. Many commuters position themselves at the front or rear of the train for a quick getaway when they get to Grand Central. But if you look toward the center of the train, you might find more seats. Finding a seat, that is the big issue of the day, given the crowding on Metro North. Your commute's going to be a lot more pleasant if you're having a seat to sit in rather than having to stand. The seats are in short supply, so here's a strategy. As the train pulls in, scan the cars that pass you and see how many passengers there seem to be on board. When the doors open, move quickly inside, eyeball your target seat, and get there fast. Put down your carry-ons and sit down. If you hesitate, you're toast, and you'll end up being a standee. Coming home out of Grand Central, you can probably get on your train 20, maybe even 30 minutes before departure. Take a window or aisle seat on the 3-seat side. That middle seat next to you is probably the last to be filled. There's even a strategy to being a standee, because if you don't get a seat, don't give up. A few people on most trains get off in Stamford, so look for them and position yourself to get their seat before it gets cold. Here's the secret. Intermediate passengers have seat checks with a tear down the middle or a torn corner. Look for those seat checks, and just before Stamford, position yourself near that seat row, and bingo, you get a seat. Tickets. Don't make the mistake of getting on the train without a ticket, or you're going to get hit with up to $6.50 in penalty for buying a ticket on the train with cash. However, if you're thrifty, don't buy your ticket from a ticket window or ticket machine. No, believe it or not, the cheapest tickets are available online. Onboard etiquette. Now, train time, you have to realize, is not your own time, but shared time. So please be considerate of your fellow commuters. Don't hog empty seats. Use the overhead racks. Keep your feet off the seats. If you must use your cell phone, go to the vestibule. Be like a Boy Scout. Anything you carry on the train, including newspapers and coffee cups, carry off the train and dispose of properly. Hey, if you've got your own secrets for a successful commute, send them along and I'll include them in an upcoming podcast. I'm Jim Cameron for Talking Transportation.
Thanks, as always, to Jim Cameron. But now we're going to recap some of the top stories that we're following today. In an update on a story we brought you yesterday, the man who was shot and killed by Fairfield police during a violent domestic assault has been identified as Christopher Andrews. Fairfield officers responded to the house around 6 yesterday morning and were confronted by Andrews. They said he was shot and later died of his injuries. His wife and 3 children, ages 12, 13, and 15, were all injured. The children were taken to area hospitals suffering blunt trauma injuries and stab wounds. The youngest was airlifted to Yale New Haven Hospital. The wife was also taken to the hospital for injuries. Christopher Andrews was an attorney in Manhattan and known in the community for his involvement in youth sports as a coach. Those who knew him through athletics expressed shock at the incident, and many are still waiting for answers. Police said there were no records of any problems at the home previously. State court records show no convictions or pending charges against Christopher Andrews. Fairfield police officials said they will conduct their own internal probe of the officer's role in the shooting. Police arrested a 16-year-old Joe Barlow High School student on Thursday, February 4th, after he allegedly attacked a fellow student in the hallways. Police said they were in the school investigating another crime when they were alerted to the assault. Both students involved were treated for minor injuries at the scene, and the arrested student was charged with third-degree assault and disorderly conduct. And 2 Newtown High School students were charged Saturday with sharing nude pictures and videos of their classmates, bringing the total of arrests in the school's sexting investigation to 5. According to Hearst, Connecticut media, the probe began last May when school administrators learned that several boys and girls were sexting, sharing nude photos and videos of themselves and their classmates through smartphone apps like Snapchat, FaceTime, iMessage, and Kik. After a lengthy investigation, police last month charged 3 students with selling such content and referred 20 others to a juvenile review board for reportedly sharing those images with friends. This week, police announced they arrested 2 other teens involved in the sexting ring. One of them has been charged with 3 misdemeanor counts of possession of child pornography, and the other was charged with 1 count of the same crime. Both students and their parents were given the option of participating in the juvenile review board, but they refused the offer, according to police. And in Ridgefield, visually dramatic changes are in the works for the corner of Main and Gilbert Streets, where a rundown house converted to apartments has stood for decades. A complex of 5 single-family houses to be sold as residential condos has been proposed on the corner by developer Michael Ippolito as an investment group called 509 Main Street LLC. To put the 5 houses on a site of little less than 1 acre, Ippolito is seeking a zone change from half-acre residential to the Main Street Design District, which is a floating zone created to allow a condominium village on the former Elms Inn property just across Main Street. A public hearing on the proposal has been scheduled for March 22nd by the Planning and Zoning Commission. You can get more information at theridgefieldpress.com. And finally, in some fun news for the area, Two Roads Brewing Company of Stratford announced recently that the brand will be rolling into the state of New Hampshire. The launch begins this week with a series of kickoff events throughout the state. New Hampshire is now the 9th state to distribute the Two Roads brand. So congratulations to them, and Eric Gendron, who's from New Hampshire, our director. He's excited about that when he goes home, that he can enjoy some Two Roads beer. But now we're going to throw it to Rob Adams for one final look at the forecast.
I thought
Rob?
the cartwheels were a little over the top
They
by
were.
Eric, but it's okay.
A little distracting when we're trying to do the news here.
Yeah, we're trying to do the news here, you know, and things are happening, and he's doing cartwheels. All right, Kate, thank you. Partly sunny day today, cooler with a high around 40, and the wind out of the northwest from 5 to 10 tonight, 23 for the low under mostly clear skies. Thursday, sunny and 33. Wind will be a little more of an issue out of the northwest, 10 to 15. Only 16 for tomorrow night with a north wind 5 to 10 to Friday. Sunny in the morning and a chance of a little bit of precipitation. Mostly cloudy later in the day. Slight chance of snow in the afternoon. Highs in the mid-30s, so keep an eye out for that. More of the same on Friday night, mostly cloudy and a chance of snow. It's only a 40% chance, so hopefully nothing to get crazy about. Chance of rain and snow after midnight. Sleet and rain in the evening, so keep an eye on it. Low around 33. 49 and partly sunny for Saturday. 46 and partly sunny for Sunday. 44 and partly sunny for Monday. Darien, you have 37. Ridgefield, bundle up at 33. And right here in Shelton, it's 37 degrees. I'll see you for Nutmeg and hockey later on, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, that's going to do it for your coffee break. Coming up today at 12:30, CT Pulse with myself and Josh Fisher. We're talking to some of our HAN staffers who have been nominated for awards from the New England Newspaper and Press Association. Really excited to hear more about that. We're also going to talk some of the stories we're following this week and get Doug Smith's take on this week's news, our editorial cartoonist. That's coming up at 12:30. But again, we'll see you tomorrow at 11 for your coffee break. Have a great day.